This franchise has a very special place in this series. Back in the very first season, we crowned the original worst of the worst, Alone in the Dark, 2008 for the PS2, a game that I, quite honestly, hate. I wanted to figure out what I could do for this game. I know Worst of the Worst is supposed to be my subjective series, and I'm really trying to come up with a way to make this video without giving away my personal feelings right away. But the truth is, I seriously hate this game. Since then, we have gone down the Alone in the Dark rabbit hole more than I care to admit. We've played multiple versions of the same game.
I don't want to fucking hear about how I didn't play the right goddamn version of this stupid fucking game. Because now, there is a video recording of me playing the PS2 version, the Wii version, and the updated PS3 version. I have put more goddamn effort into trying this game than fans have actually playing it.
Dug into the newest reboot, visited the PS1 version of the new Nightmare, and even tracked down and played the Game Boy Color version of that game. Apparently I hate myself. And yet, I haven't played the original trilogy, but it's on the to-do list. I swear, despite that rocky history, I'll say this. I actually like the new Nightmare, and I really enjoy the 2024 reboot. It bums me out we probably won't see more of that because honestly, it deserves a future. But Illumination's something altogether different. This game is a bizarre entry in a franchise that once helped define the survival horror genre. Alone in the Dark 2008 was already a reboot of a reboot, and this one, it feels like a reboot of a bad fan mod of a reboot. Even describing this has become baffling. In Alone in the Dark 2008, they took a big swing with mechanics like real-time fire and inventory systems that require some actual interaction. It was clunky, sure, but it tried. The game still felt like it was about something. You weren't always alone, sure, but it carried a tension that earned its place in the franchise. I'm really trying to be nice about that horrid game. The fire mechanics on the PS3 actually looked impressive for the time. But Illumination takes it even further, and it's right off a cliff. This time they completely abandoned the premise of being alone by making a game 4-player online co-op, which, if the title doesn't give it away, 100% defeats the entire point of Alone in the Dark. It's like making a stealth game, where you scream into the megaphone the whole time. If that was the case, we could finally find a stealth game I am actually good at. Before we dive too deep, let's lay the judging criteria for this video. Like every entry in the series, we are grading this game on game mechanics, presentation, story, and game feel. So how will Alone in the Dark stack up against the Bikini Samurai Squad? This game is such a weird mess, I honestly don't even know where to start. There are 4 playable characters, each with different skills and abilities. It's not quite a hero shooter, but it gives off some real evil prophecy energy. If you know, you know. And frankly, all of my time with the 2008 Alone in the Dark did not prepare me for this. Why can I blink in third person? It's a co-op shooter at heart, but everything about it feels just half-baked. Each character has a primary attack and some unlockable skills, It's very by the numbers for this type of game, and there's absolutely nothing innovative going on. You start a level, but with a bit of narration from someone who sounds like they should be compelling. But the delivery is so rushed and emotionless that it ends up being forgettable.
Despite all she'd faced, and all she'd overcome, Celeste knew it wasn't over. She had prevented an immediate apocalypse, but the darkness here was too strong, too entrenched. Eventually it would return, perhaps more powerful than ever. It was time to leave this place.
The mission structure is confusing. Each map has progressive objectives, meaning the mission expands in parts as you go. On paper, that's not a terrible idea. In the second level, for instance, you choose how to escape, by car or by boat. In a full co-op squad, this might have been interesting. Think about it. The entire squad is over trying to get the boat ready to leave, but for some reason Steve is off in the distance, working on the car. Sounds like great teamwork. But the solo experience? It's a drag. It quickly became repetitive, frustrating, and painfully unbalanced. The difference between characters should offer strategic variation. Instead, they highlight just how broken the systems are. Take Ted, for example. Ted Carnby. Ted. Enemies can only be damaged if they're exposed to light. Makes sense, except your flashlight doesn't count. Meanwhile, the witch character can wreck most enemies but relies on mana, which can only be recharged in light. Guess how great that is when you're in the dark. These aren't the worst concepts, but they fall apart solo. It's clear the game was built around multiplayer, and yet, no one was playing it. I didn't know where to put this, but I'll say it here. I streamed this game a while back for fun. I wasn't even that hard on it then, but when I came back recently to get footage for this video, that's when things truly fell apart. I had to reinstall the game multiple times just to get it to launch. We're talking full reinstalls, compatibility mode tweaks, the works. It's a broken, buggy mess. The narrator's voice is solid, I'll give it that. But the game does him no favors. The models look cheap, unfinished. Ted, as mentioned earlier, is basically just a copy-paste of Edward Carnby from the 2008 game. There's even a theory that he is Edward after the events of the 2008 game. Don't care. The witch? She looks like an indie dev's first attempt at designing a stylish, sexy character, and failing the assignment completely. The design lacks polish, creativity, or cohesion. The monsters? Pathetic. And I don't say that lightly. I couldn't even finish this game, and that's not something I say super often. The reasons will become clear soon, but the short version is nothing in this game has the polish or attention to detail you'd expect. Not even the UI. The whole thing feels like it wants to be anywhere other than here. And really, same. Oh god. Here's the thing. Alone in the Dark began life as a love letter to Lovecraftian horror. And despite its ups and downs, it's a franchise that usually tried to do something interesting with that heritage. The New Nightmare created its own mythology with Obed Shad, a dark and strange boss that didn't feel like a direct lift from Lovecraft. The 2024 reboot featured the Darkman. This is actually a callback to Alone in the Dark 2, with a character's name I can't pronounce, so it'll be right here. Try to be cool with it, but also a clever reimagining of Narthalotep that made him feel like his own distinct character. Now, Illumination, the story is about a mine reopening in a cursed town in Virginia. You and your chosen character head there for vaguely defined reasons and are immediately faced with the darkness. No, not that excellent. Comic book video game from the PS3 era, just darkness. And the cause of that darkness? Cthulhu. Just Cthulhu. No mystery, no twist, no depth. Just, hey, here's the big squid boy. Have fun. It's the most uninspired choice they could have made. You have an entire mythos, hundreds of terrifying, strange, and unknowable beings, and you go with Cthulhu, the McDonald's of cosmic horror. Don't get me wrong, I do enjoy Cthulhu. But even the 2024 reboot final boss resembled Rogog, a lesser-known great old one known as the bearer of the cup of the blood of the ancients. Obscure, creative, and thematic. Illumination doesn't even try. They didn't need to reinvent the genre, but they could have just cared. Horrible. Alright, fine, I'll put a little more effort into this. It's not going to be good, though. No part of this game feels the way it should. It's hard to explain, but it feels like... well, it feels as cheap as it looks. The controls are clunky in a way you can't fully appreciate until you try to play it. Everything has this wrongness to it. Character movement is stiff and unresponsive. Jumping just feels weird. It's like physics were dialed in, but somehow on accident at the same time. It constantly reminds you you're playing a game built in a world that doesn't understand how the real one feels. Weapons feel weightless. Every shot feels like a water pistol. It's the opposite problem of how characters move. It's like they tried to build an arcade shooter and a tactical sim at the same time and landed somewhere deep in hell. There's just nothing here that works. And what's here feels really bad. I really don't want to do this again. I know you don't believe me, but I don't. Honestly, I considered putting Alone in the Dark: The New Nightmare in this season as a joke entry, but the truth, that game actually is pretty good. It's a flawed Resident Evil clone, but that's playable. It's moody. It has atmosphere. This game? This is a better fit for the worst of the worst, and so far, there's not much standing in its way. I liked Wanted Dead. I wanted to like Onishambara, but neither of these games come close to being as irredeemable as Illumination. Right now, Alone in the Dark: Illumination is the frontrunner for this season's worst of the worst. We got a long way to go, so I won't crown it yet, but it's going to be hard to top this disaster. I'm Adam the Horror Historian. Thank you so much for watching this episode of The Worst of the Worst. The next up in the series, we're actually taking a look at a tie-in to a very popular kids book that also had a TV series and several movies. It'll be an interesting time. As far as mainline videos go, we're actually taking a look at one of the more iconic bosses from the Castlevania series. We're talking about Legion. Until then, stay scared, stay curious.